Hi, welcome to MediaBite. If you are anything like me, you love when horror movies have twists and turns in them. Today we're going to be looking at some big twists in horror. If that interests you, please stay tuned into all of our videos in the month of October, as we have some horror themed videos in the works. For me, Saw has one of the biggest twists in horror movie history. At least because of when it impacted me and how young I was when I saw this movie for the first time. I was probably right around 13 and I had no idea what this movie was about or that there even was a twist in this film. This was probably 2016-ish. Spoilers ahead. When you find out that Jigsaw is the dead body on the ground, my jaw dropped. I was so surprised, and I've only had a few movies since then give me that same exact feeling that this movie gave me when I was a kid. Halloween 2 also had a very big twist in it for people, at least when the movie came out. Spoilers ahead for the film if you somehow don't know the twist, but when you find out that Laurie Strode is Michael Myers' sister, it's a pretty huge deal. Especially because how much it sort of recontextualizes the original film. I am personally glad that in the future films they sort of ignore this fact, which we're not going to get into the Halloween timeline right now because that'll be a 5.5 hour long video explaining why certain movies are connected to other movies, and we're not going to get into that. I could get into that, but I'm not going to because it is going to take forever. But some films, some series, some timelines ignore the fact that it's, that Michael Myers is her brother, and I'm very, very glad that they don't that's not something that keeps following the series forever. It does in some of the films, but that's not really the major point of the film in the film series in general, to be honest, because I think that's kind of a universal thing that they don't like that twist. In my opinion, it actually sort of takes away from the scariness of that original film because it removes the randomness of Halloween. I love Scream, and I've loved it for a very long time. It was one of the first horror movies I've ever actually got a chance to watch, and I think that is why I probably hold it in a very special place in my heart. I think the twist in Scream is less in who the actual killers are, and more in the fact, first off, that there are two killers in the film, and that they've actually killed before. In fact, they killed Sidney Prescott's mother a year prior to the events of the film. Something about this movie will always hold a very, very dear place in my heart and continues to this day to be one of my favorite horror movies. Well, that's it. If you want to keep up to date with all things horror and horror movies, you can follow us on Threads and Instagram. It's at MediaBite Company. Twitter and TikTok is at MediaBite Co. I have always loved horror movies for as long as I can, and just horror things in general, so I'm going to try to give you guys all horror movie themed videos in October if I can make that work. So, just because I love horror movies so much. In fact, I have a channel that I don't post anymore all about horror, although I may bring it back in the form of continuing the podcast that I did on there. We'll see. That might be a little hint. It might not be a hint. We'll see. So I may do that. But either way, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace.